News headlines. The killing of 24 people in the attack on the hotel in Kherson by the Ukrainians is unacceptable. A message from Medvedev to the investigators of the murder of Kherson. The President of the Republic of Belarus announced, "I had warned him before the Pavwadi attack on Putin about a terrorist plot against him. Beware of China and the United States." Don't play with the lion's den. The killing of 8 people in the attack on the United States by drug traffickers. Hello, welcome to this news service. Vladimir Saldo, the Russian commander-in-chief in Kherson, announced today that the attack by the Ukrainian armed forces with the help of Pavwadi on a hotel and a cafe in this region killed 24 people and injured 50 others. However, this terrorist attack by the Ukrainians last night took place when the non-commissioned officers were celebrating the New Year. It is said that this attack was intended to target the non-commissioned officers. The statement explained that one of the Pavwadis was a mixture carrier, and however, the blow from the middle of a Pavwadi was about a minute before midnight. The commander of Kherson said that the British intelligence services were involved in this attack, and however, all those responsible for the attack on the hotel in Kherson were identified and acquitted. According to the statement, a fire brigade was killed in the bomb attack today. The doctors are also trying to save the lives of the injured, and the rescue teams are in the process of removing the bodies of the victims and providing medical aid to the injured. In addition, Medvedev, in contrast to Kherson and Khakin, assassinated the non-commissioned officers with a fascist murder, which was a quick, ruthless, and treacherous attempt against the operatives and commanders of the Russian military operations. Dmitry Medvedev, the current deputy head of the Russian Security Council, in reference to the attack in Kherson, which was a non-commissioned assassination, strongly condemned this action and wrote, "The non-commissioned assassination of women and children is an unacceptable and contrary action to human principles and international law." He, in contrast to this incident, with some historical evidences related to the Second World War, emphasized the need to resuscitate the operatives and their commanders because of these actions. Medvedev also sought to draw attention to those responsible for this attack in the context of the Russian military operations, and announced that these incidents should not remain unresolved. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko said that before Vladimir Putin's trip to South Africa for a briefing at the BRICS conference in 2023, he had probably warned him about a possible terrorist attack. His statement is that the recent attack by the Ukrainian Peshmerga on Putin's residence in the Novgorod region has been reported. The Russian Ministry of Defense published a flight plan and a video of the remaining Peshmerga and described the attack as targeted and detailed. Lukashenko explained that Belarus had received information from Western media and had heard about the preparation of a terrorist attack against the Russian president. He said in a conversation with Putin before the BRICS conference that he advised him not to go abroad while the war in Ukraine continues. In a conversation with the Belarusian president, Putin initially rejected the concerns and said that his enemies are not that crazy. But with Lukashenko's insistence, Putin did not attend the conference and said that his presence in the country is more important now. And instead of him, his foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, became the ambassador of South Africa. Lukashenko said that this decision was probably not only due to his advice, but he emphasized that his warning was based on real information sources and not a baseless assumption. Lukashenko, in reference to the recent Peshmerga attack on Putin's residence, said that the latest attack has strengthened his belief that the real danger and warning were intended. It is clear that everyone in the West knows that if Putin gets out of the way, everything will be different. Today, for the first time, I say this because there should have been no carelessness. They have lied, and Putin has repeatedly confirmed this issue. The Office of the Taiwan Affairs in the Chinese government on Wednesday, in response to a recent statement from the United States, which is intended to sell military equipment to Taiwan, has openly announced that any country or force that plays with this issue will definitely pay a heavy price. Zhang Han, spokesman for the Taiwan Affairs Office of the Chinese Government Council, in his statement, which was published by Xinhua news agency, expressed strong opposition to any military ties between Washington and Taipei from the United States in order to maintain the unity of China and the trilateral agreement between the two countries. The trilateral agreement includes the Declaration of Shanghai in 1972, the Declaration of the Establishment of Diplomatic Relations in 1979, and the Declaration of August 17, 1982, which is directly related to the issue of arms sales to Taiwan, in fact, the pillar of diplomatic relations between the United States and China. These three trilateral agreements have determined that, according to the United States, Taiwan will be recognized as a part of China, and its official relationship with Beijing will be established. Zhang emphasized that the efforts of the Democratic Party of China to achieve independence through a settlement with the United States or other foreign and military forces are doomed to fail. He asked the U.S. government to stop the dangerous approach of arming Taiwan and to take full responsibility for this issue. Zhang believes that the support of the Western military does not only help the security of the region, but also sends Taiwan towards a dangerous bomb. Another part of the Chinese government's actions was to pay attention to the recent meetings between the Taiwanese authorities and the Japanese government. Zhang, in an analysis of these meetings, said that the Chinese government in Taiwan, to attract foreign support in the process of reunification, has abandoned its principles and is in a trap for Japan. He warned that the Taipei authorities are exposing themselves to the risk of moving the Japanese military forces towards militarization and thus emptying Taiwan's advanced technology industry through Western countries. In his opinion, the ability to reunify with Japan to achieve the goal of reunification has only caused a headache for the people of Taiwan and will not be a complete failure. The U.S. military has announced that in the past 2 days, 5 ships have been targeted for smuggling drugs, which resulted in the killing of 8 people. The commander of the Southern Army of the United States announced in a statement that at first 3 ships were targeted. This commander wrote in a post in X that in the first attack, 3 smugglers of drugs were killed on the first ship. The rest of the people freed the other 2 ships and fled to the sea before the next attack on the sinking of those 2 ships was launched. The commander of the South then announced that the other 2 ships were targeted. Without clarifying the location of this attack, he confirmed that 5 other people were killed in this attack. A U.S. official who did not want his name to be revealed said that 8 people had left the ships and the search is continuing. The U.S. Coast Guard has announced to Reuters that the U.S. Coast Guard has installed an aircraft carrier in the area and is cooperating with the ships present in the area. Since September, the Trump administration has personally launched an attack on the suspected smugglers of drugs in the Caribbean and Guiana Sea, which resulted in the killing of at least 110 people. This attack is being carried out in the context of U.S. air pressure against Nicolás Maduro, the president of Venezuela, and at the same time with the expansion of U.S. military and military equipment in the region. Thank you for staying with us on these books.